Strobe Studios presents Michael Helgens and Greg Kilberger in The Watson Files. Coming to you from the illustrious Strobe Studios in the heart of America and filling in for Craig Dolan, this is Scott Strosahl. And now, let's join the doctor and see what story he has for us today.
Come in.
Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Hello. How can I help you?
Craig was unable to make it today, unfortunately, so he's asked me to fill in. He should be back next week, though. My name's Scott.
Good to meet you.
And you as well. I'm a big fan of your stories, so I feel like we already know each other pretty well, even though we just met.
Indeed. Well, I don't believe we picked a story last week, so I'll give you a choice. What story would you like to hear tonight?
Oh, well, I wasn't really prepared for that question. I suppose murder's always interesting.
Well, I think I have just the story for you then.
You know, I had a feeling you probably would.
This happened several years ago when Holmes asked me to join him for an evening out on the town. After the comedy club incident, he insisted on picking our destination. I was a bit skeptical, of course, but I'm always up for adventure. What is this place, Holmes?
I assure you that it'll be a fair sight more entertaining than that last outing you planned for us.
I don't know, Spencer. When you pick, we usually end up in the middle of an investigation. On more than one occasion, I've even been drugged.
Sometimes you find work for us too, Watson. Don't be too down on yourself.
That's not... never mind. Let's just go inside.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to the Viper's Nest. Will it be just the two of you?
Yes, for a table in the back.
Right this way, please.
Good heavens, Holmes, are those things real?
It's not polite to ask that, Watson. I'm sure my friend thinks that you're quite beautiful, even if he has an odd way of expressing himself, madam.
Here you are. I'll send over a server for you.
I meant the snakes, Holmes.
Oh, well, yes, of course, those are real, and for the record, so are those.
How could you know that?
So, this place is all the newest rage. They use minute quantities of the snake's venom in all of their cuisine.
To help build up immunity?
That's right. I've been coming here as often as possible.
Holmes, you know that there aren't really a lot of poisonous snakes in the city.
Sure, but from time to time we visit the country, and we've already had occasion to deal with the nasty side effects of the misused serpent, so I figured it couldn't hurt.
Well, unless a careless cook makes a mistake.
I'm quite certain that your life insurance is in order, Watson.
I don't have any life insurance. Wait, do I?
Well, you may not have a policy for yourself, but I'm sure that some kind person keeps up on the premiums, you know, just in case.
Holmes, you worry me.
Do you mean to suggest that you do not have a policy for me?
Well, no, but how did you...
It's all very technical, but I convinced the insurance agent that you were a company asset, and that my business would suffer greatly at your loss, which I suppose it would.
You suppose?
You've helped me solve one or two cases, and on more than one occasion your lust for wealth has led to a handsome reward.
Lust for wealth?
The work is its own reward, Watson. I'm happy enough just to put criminals in their place.
Yes, well, if you would also be happy to start cooking and eating the criminals, then I guess you won't be needing any money.
And this is why I permit you to persuade the people I help to compensate us for our trouble.
Oh, you're so gracious.
Good evening, gentlemen. What can I get for you?
We'll both be having the viper vegetables, and for the main course we'll have the garden snake gorgonzola, and we'll finish with the king cobra custard.
Excellent choices, sir. I'll have that right out for you.
Aw, you do care. You ordered for me.
I wanted to save you from the anaconda antipasto.
Whatever for, it sounds delightful.
Yes, but it's so big.
Of course it is.
You know, Watson, we might actually make it through this entire meal without a murder break.
Don't jinx it.
Is all right, Watson. I think that she has merely discovered that, for all their worth, the snake charmers sometimes lose control of their pets.
Ah, well, if that's all, I feel so much better.
Good. Now then,
You know, they should really keep those things in cages.
I'm sure that they're not to be feared, but this time it wasn't the snake's fault. I'm afraid this time someone really did die.
It's all right, I'm a doctor. Clear a path, excuse me, sir. Ah, now, let me have a look at him.
Excuse me, miss. I assure you that my friend Dr. Watson here is an able physician. Why don't you tell me what happened while he has a look at your friend?
Not sure, really. One minute we were eating and talking, and the next, he just fell out of his chair and knocked over that waiter.
I see. What is his name?
Marvin, and I'm Lily Scarlett.
I see. Well, Miss Scarlett, I'm Spencer Holmes. I assure you that if anything within the realm of foul play has taken place, my friend and I will get to the bottom of it.
Are you a police officer?
No, we're not the police, but we do work with them from time to time.
Is Marvin going to be all right?
I'm sorry to have to be the one to tell you this, but I'm afraid that he is dead.
What? No! This was only our third date. He can't be dead.
I am very sorry for your loss. I've already texted Weathers and Dr. Samuelson. They should arrive shortly.
I see. Well, then we don't have much time. Watson, clear the restaurant and take Miss Scarlett to that table over there and see if you can't find her something to drink.
Certainly.
I suppose you can tuck the restaurant staff into the back for now so that they don't sully up the crime scene.
All right, Holmes, but I don't see any signs of trauma. Do you think you could have just ingested too much venom?
That remains to be seen, but the proper method must be observed. Now, if you please.
Okay, folks, you heard the man. If you work here, wait in the kitchen, and if not, you'll have to go. Sorry for upsetting your evenings. Oh, and put those snakes away. We can't have them slithering all over the place. All right, Holmes. What do we do now?
Now, Watson, we think. Or at least I do.
Very funny. Do you see anything?
Well, I agree that he doesn't seem to be bludgeoned or stabbed, and he's clearly not missing any limbs or vital organs. Come along, Watson. We'll go have a look in the kitchen.
All righty then.
All right, who's in charge here?
I'm Jerome Lavershath, and this is my restaurant. I demand to know on what authority you're detaining my staff as well as sending away my customers.
I think you should calm down, sir. A man is dead.
Dead? What do you mean dead?
Remind me not to mock you quite so much in the future, Watson, when you don't catch on to things right away.
He's left this mortal coil, Mr. Lathershaft.
He's kicked the proverbial bucket.
Haven't you milked that one enough yet?
Ah, that's a good point, Watson. Where do you get the venom that you use in your cuisine?
Oh, well, most of it we actually collect ourselves. We use such small amounts that we do not have to keep many snakes.
Who does the cooking? Could the chef have made a mistake and put in too much?
No, that's impossible. See, we use these vials. I measure the venom myself. There really is only a trace amount in the food.
Has anyone ever had an adverse reaction?
Sure, we keep the antivenom close at hand just in case. Unless someone had quite a lot, there'd be enough time to save them, and at most they might have an upset stomach.
It still seems quite dangerous.
Tell me, have Miss Scarlett and her friend ever come here before?
Miss Scarlett? Yes, she's been coming here for quite some time now, but I don't think I've ever seen her here with that man before.
I see. Then I believe I just about have this sorted out.
You do?
Of course, Watson. And if you paid attention to more than the person to whom we are speaking, you might as well. You, sir, what is your name?
Me?
Yes, you.
Frank Green.
And you are one of the chefs here?
Sure, I do most of the final preparations before the food is served.
And you are familiar with Miss Scarlett?
Miss Scarlett and Mr. Green? I suppose you're going to tell me it was them in the dining room with the candlesticks.
Perhaps you've been paying more attention than I gave you credit for. My apologies, Watson.
You mean I was right?
If we were playing the game to which you have alluded, I would challenge your solution. But I'm not holding all the cards either, so we'll have to wait for Dr. Samuelson to arrive to be sure.
So how do you think it happened?
Well, I'd say that based on the frequent and guilt-filled glances and the rattling of glass coming from his pockets, that Mr. Green gave Miss Scarlett's friend quite a large dose of venom, which killed him nearly instantly.
What? That's preposterous.
But he must have known that he'd be caught.
Love makes people do strange things, Watson. And to prove my point, Mr. Green was about to make a dash for it.
You'll never catch me.
Someone should probably stop him.
I got him!
There's a good lad. Now, if you'd be so kind as to keep him in the cooler there with the lock on it until Officer Weathers arrive, I'd be most gracious.
You're a traitor. A dirty traitor.
That'll be Weathers and Samuelson now.
Quite right. We should go and have a word with the two of them.
What's going on here?
Well, we've got the alleged murderer locked up in the kitchen, and the body is over there.
I guess I'll start in the kitchen then.
Good choice.
Good evening, Dr. Samuelson. There are one or two matters which I should like to confirm with you if you'd care to join me over here with the body.
Hello, Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson. This is my new assistant, Dr. Worth. He'll be helping out with some of my caseload.
Then why are you both here?
Dr. Samuelson's been showing me how he does things, Mr. Holmes.
Pleased to meet you, Dr. Worth. I hope your name is apt.
I'm sure I'll be of some worth to you, sir, but your reputation as a master of deduction precedes you. I wouldn't presume to be your equal in any way.
You could learn a thing or two from this man, Watson.
Wait, where's Miss Scarlet?
I imagine that she dashed out the door while we were in the kitchen.
Well, that's just great. I suppose we can add another name to the list of people who have an interest in killing us, then.
I suppose so. Locking up lovers is usually a good motive for revenge, but we can't focus on that now.
Well, he doesn't seem to have been stabbed or stuck with anything.
And no apparent limbs missing either. We've established that already.
Yes, well, we want to know if he was poisoned by a large quantity of snake venom.
That'll be difficult to tell without a full blood workup, but given where we are, I'd say it's not a bad theory.
The killer could have been one of the cooks, then. You have the right to remain silent.
I don't want to remain silent. I love Miss Scarlet, and I don't care who knows that I did it. I'd do it again if I had to. No one will come between us ever again.
I'm pretty sure that there'll be a thin layer of glass between you and your lady love the next time you see her.
You can't do this. I'm in love.
Good luck with that defense at trial. I think we have everything we need here, Holmes.
Sounds good to me. Well, Watson, shall we see about finishing our dinner?
How can you think about eating after all of this?
Well, I'm not sure that I want to eat here, but we should be able to scare up something at the bistro down the street.
Well, that does sound good. See you later, Max, Gerald. Nice to meet you, Adam.
You as well, Dr. Watson. I hope we get to see more of each other.
As long as Spencer is around, I'm sure that we will.
Yes, I'll be looking forward to it. All right, come on, you.
Please, no. There must be something I can do.
Save it for the judge.
So, it was Mr. Green and Ms. Scarlet in the dining room with viper venom?
That's right. The test revealed that the young man had been given enough venom to kill someone 6 times his size.
That restaurant's not still in business, right?
No, as you can imagine, there was a lot of negative press, and once Mr. Green confessed, it didn't take much to put him in jail.
Did you ever find Ms. Scarlet?
Not yet, but if she is anything like the other people that Holmes has upset, I'm sure that we've not seen the last of her.
Well, I sure hope Spencer is as good at avoiding her revenge as he has been all of his other enemies.
Indeed. I'm sure he'll be fine.
That's good to hear. I think next week is Memorial Day, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys might be taking the week off?
That's right.
That's what Craig had said. So in 2 weeks when he returns, what story are you going to have for us?
On that occasion, we're going to head back in time and visit a rather poor investment I made.
That does sound interesting. I look forward to hearing it. Tonight's Watson Files adventure was written by Michael Helgens and directed by Scott Strosahl. Spencer Holmes and Dr. Watson were played by Michael Helgens and Greg Kilberger. Additional voices were provided by Steve Rimpici and Beverly Mead. Until next week, this is Scott Strosahl saying good night from Stroby Studios.
I'm sure that my friend thinks that...
I think you just broke Holmes. And by the way, I want to go back and... How could you know that? How could you know that?
Yes.
How could you know that? Take each one.
How could you know that?
How could you know that?
How could you know that?
Holy manoli!
We'll just emphasize every word.
How could you know that? There, that's perfect. Use that one.
Excuse me, miss. I assure you that my friend Dr. Watson here is an able physician. I was nice to you right there.
Yes, it won't happen again. I wasn't paying attention, that's why.
This is like, can you imagine what the insurance would be on a restaurant like this? Massive. Call the insurance company. Yeah, I'm gonna start a restaurant. We're gonna put poison in the food. But we'll have the antivenom close by. So how much is that gonna cost us?
I'm sure it's fine.
I hope your name is apt.
And when I read this quickly this morning, I hope your name is apartment. What the? Oh no, apt. Okay.
It's not abbreviation, it's a word, damn it.
No, it's not an apartment, it's condominium.
When I was reading it quickly,
Bum, bum, bum. That one's
there was one
done.
line